Hello, everyone. Welcome back to
The Lo and Zoe Show. You know what's so funny? I was actually just thinking the other day about how we never do that intro anymore.
really. Oh, yeah,
Like
we
we
don't.
used to always do that, where I would go, like one of us would say, "Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of," and then the other person would jump in and be like, "The Lo and Zoe Show."
I mean, well, how synchronous for today's episode as we're really dialing it back to the basics of quantum manifesting.
Yes, and just manifesting in general. Like if you listen to our last episode, we talked about really bringing things back to the basics of why things work versus sometimes why they don't when it comes to creating our realities. And in that episode, we talked about how much we contradict our desires by really succumbing to our environment and giving our environment a lot of meaning and deciding it's not working because this thing hasn't happened yet or it's not happening the way that we think that it should, and really how to separate ourselves from that habit. And so today we're going to be offering another kind of tip as a means to accelerating your desires and the arrival of your desires. And this is sort of in line, obviously, with our Quantum Accelerator program, which is, or not program, sorry, it's a free training that we're doing. It's a three-part, free training. We are doing it on Telegram, the same way that we did our mini mind towards the beginning of this year. So it just really offers this beautiful audio format that's really accessible to people. There's a whole group chat component so you connect with other people. We just loved that format. So we're going to be doing that again. It is happening on the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd of November. Like we said, completely free to join. And we're going to be talking about how to expedite the arrival of your desires. So, our second tip for speeding up and accelerating the arrival of your desires is about really, I think so much of the time, what we do without realizing it is we go back and forth a lot on the process through which we are deciding to manifest or to align our energy with our desires. And I mean, there's just so much contradictory information out there about aligning and about receiving what you want, right? There's people that talk about affirming 1,000 times a day. There's people who tell you that you need to be unattached, yet also really committed, live in the end, but also let it go. And so there's so much contradictory information out there that I think has us essentially plant the seed of what we want and then dig it up before it can grow at all. And so if you're finding that you're not receiving what you desire, are you actually staying true to or staying consistent with a process of shifting your energy field and moving into that place of receptivity that feels that like you really believe in? Because I know for me, anytime I have consciously quantum leapt and quickly received something I really desired, I didn't waver on what I was doing to allow it in. And again, I think it was Bob Proctor. I was watching a video of his, this was a couple years ago, but it really resonated. And he was saying, we decide we want a carrot, so we plant a carrot seed, but then like an hour later we dig it up to see if it's growing, and if it's not, then we plant a seed for something else. And then 2 hours later we dig that one up, and so like nothing ever really gets to grow. We never get to the point of actually harvesting these things, these seeds that we've planted, because we're too busy switching up what it is that we want and how it is that we are creating them to come into our reality. And so I think one of the things people can do to really expedite is decide what's going to work for them and have a method that you really have your belief behind and that you don't waver on.
Yeah, and energetically speaking, so if you're wavering, that's scattered energy. That's not
Yes.
focused energy. And focused energy is our most potent energy for manifesting. So if you're sticking to a method that feels good to you, that you can get your energy behind, that you believe in, that feels enjoyable, feels uplifting to you, feels expansive to you, if you commit to that, think about the compound effect of change and how if you implement, let's say, that habit or that practice every single day, and a week from now you would feel amazing. 2 weeks from now you'd be a different person. A month from then you've shifted your identity in ways. So it's, are you staying true to what feels good and allowing your energy to be as potent as possible, Or are you digging up those seeds and deciding differently? Because in Lowe's example, every time that you dig up the seed, you're scattering your energy and deciding that it's not happening, that you need to check on it, that it's not actually working. And it actually speaks to your confidence that you have as a creator. Every time
Yes.
you dig it up, it's like, no, I'm giving my power away. I'm not feeling confident that this is actually happening for me.
Yes, exactly. And so you might be listening to this and being like, well, how do I know like which one is going to get my like that I can get my belief behind, or that is actually going to work? How do I create a method of manifesting, or decide on one with all the contradictory information that's out there, and then stick with it long enough with that confidence to actually have it work? And for both Zoe and I, this has been about really, I mean, what we teach inside of Quantum Creators, it's been about having the science behind what manifestation even is. And this is not like attracts like. We're not talking about anything that surface level. We actually really both have an understanding of the quantum physics, how it is that our thoughts actually create our reality, what's going on a subatomic level, and the way in which the physical world interacts with our thoughts. This is actually something that's being proven now by quantum physics. And it's always been for me that understanding combined with an understanding of neuroscience and the way that the human mind works, the way the human body works, that has actually had me stick to a mindfulness practice or a manifestation practice long enough to see incredible things happen in my reality. And sometimes that's like 2 weeks, like it doesn't have to be that long. um, because I actually understand what it is that I'm doing. It's like going to the gym every day, lifting weights, knowing that by doing that, you're going to build those muscles. You're going to get to a specific level of fitness or a specific outcome that you desire. You're doing that because you actually believe it's going to lead you to what you want, and you, as a result, stay with it long enough to see that outcome. But we so often don't do that. We go, well, today, if I want to, get fit, I'm going to run a marathon. But tomorrow, I think I'm going to do push ups. And then the day after that, I think it's just about only drinking celery juice. It's like Zoe said, very scattered energy, but also from a very like physiological and biological standpoint. Our mind and our body never get to be programmed for that new reality, because again, we're too inconsistent with doing one thing. And so for us, this really has, like, what would you say, Zoe, was the biggest difference for you when you started to embrace a method of manifestation that was very much something you could understand on a very scientific level?
Yeah, I think like well, of course, the power of education is empowering, and that understanding and awareness of how quantum physics plays a role in manifestation. There's no going back. And I find any time where I catch myself leaking energy, scattered energy, or in reference to the last episode, meddling somehow or letting things leak out, I bring myself back to the simplicity of the science and how this is proven. And then it's like, oh, yeah, I've done enough. Oh, yeah, it's all happening. Oh, yeah, I just need to like zoom out of this and remember who I am, remember my power. And I can always draw confidence when I remember the, the simplicity of following that method that feels like and has worked time and time again. And it's something, Joseph Ally, I remember he in his videos when he talks about Neville Goddard's teaching, always says it's a systematic way, a predictable way of
Yes.
creating your desires. And that's exactly, I mean, I'm just speaking into our quantum method and what we teach inside Quantum Creators. But ever since I implemented that into my reality, it's like, I know if I stay consistent, my results will be made manifest. And as long as I keep my energy potent, contained, and focused on that, I accelerate my journey. I accelerate those desires coming to me or being made manifest, better way of saying.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that we can really leave it there, because we don't want to overcomplicate something that's meant to be simple, but decide what really works for you, what you can get your belief behind. If you don't know what that is, then please join us inside the Quantum Accelerator so that we can help you out with that. But, you know, plant the seed and then decide the watering schedule that allows for it to grow, and stick with that. I mean, with this belief, with my belief behind a certain practice that I'm implementing or a certain means of shifting my energy field, I've created incredible things because I mean, it comes back to what we talked about on the last episode about not constantly contradicting. Why do I keep saying I said that in the last episode? Contradicting, or yeah, not being contradictory to your desire. Um, and yeah, so if you're doing that, because I can even recognize ways in which I'm doing that right now, where one day I'm like, I need to feel this way about it. Or the next day, or then the next day I'm like, actually no, I need to have these beliefs. Or the day after that, it's okay, this is identity work. And I'm so grateful to quantum creators because it's something we continuously come back to. It doesn't mean that life doesn't stray us from it. It means that like it's just the teachings and the approach that I always come back to. And I'm always like, oh yeah, this is truth. This is what is required. This is what actually really works. And I have so much evidence of that. But even I can listen to someone's episode of a podcast or YouTube video and be like, oh my gosh, is it maybe this? Is this what I'm not doing right? To me, it's just every single time come back to really understanding the science, believing in the process that I am implementing, sticking with it. That's it.
Yeah, and in like sort of the visual terms that we've been speaking into, it's like water that seed. Don't dig that seed up.
Yeah.
Just keep every single day, water it, nurture it, love it. Know that it will come to bear fruit for you. Stay consistent.
Yeah.
Stay
Yeah.
consistent.
Seeds don't do that well if one day you ignore it, but then the next day you give it like a bucket of water, and then 3 weeks after that you say loving thoughts to it, but you don't water it. Like it needs a little consistency, and so do your desires.
Yes.
All right. We
Oh.
will link everything down below for you guys if you want to join us inside the Accelerator. If you can't join live, no worries, because we have replays as always, and we'd love to see you guys there.
See you there, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you guys so much for spending a piece of your day with us and tuning in to the Lo and Zoe Show.
If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to rate it and share on social media. Be sure to tag us.
Until next time,
Stay abundant.